Hey guys, this is Geeky Gyanchos and today we will learn how can we multiply faster with the help of bases. So at first I would give you a multiplication, a certain time period, and let's see if you can find the answer. So here's the multiplication. What is 105 into 107? You have a time of 6 seconds. Let's see if you can find the answer. So the answer here would be 11235. How did I get this answer? Let's come to it later. Before it, I would say that this is a very long video. If you do find any confusion at a certain place, you can't understand what I did, just pause the video, rewind back, understand the thing, and then move forward. Just give 20% of your concentration. This is not such a very difficult topic. Just give a minimal concentration, watch the video to the end, and I am sure that you will learn this method quite easily. So beforehand, we would see some things like this. This kind of multiplication is only possible when both the numbers are very close to 100. For example, numbers like 112 into 113, 92 into 103, and these kind of numbers. See, in this case, both the numbers like 112 and 113 both are close to 100, 92 and 103 both are close to 100, and so on. So now we will see how did we get 105 into 107. See, both the numbers are again close to 100, so here we will take the base as to be 100. Now 105 is greater than 100 by 5, and 107 on the other hand is greater than 100 by 7. So in this case we can write that the surpluses, or the number that they are greater by, are 5 and 7. So let's write it in tabular form. 105 slash the surplus it did obtain multiplied by 107 slash the surplus it did obtain. Now let's take the slash to be the center part, and thus it divides the numbers into two parts, the left hand side and the right hand side. So in here we have on the left hand side the number, and on the right hand side we have its corresponding surplus. Now let's see, when we multiply it in this faster method, what we can write on the left hand side. On the left hand side we can write 105 plus the opposite surplus, or 107 plus the opposite surplus. See, in the case of 105, the surplus of 107 would be its opposite surplus, and in case of 107, the surplus of 105 would be its opposite surplus. So we have written 105 plus its opposite surplus, which is plus 7, or 107 plus its opposite surplus, which is plus 5. Now slash. Now what would be it on what we would write on the right hand side? On the right hand side we would just take the product of the two surpluses, which in this case is plus 35. So we have got on the left hand side 105 plus 7, which stands to be 112, slash on the right hand side we have got the product of the two surpluses to be 35. Thus we can write it to be 112 slash 35, or the answer would be just very simple, 11235. Now, so I just got it in the first page, how I got 105 into 107 to be 11235. I just showed you the process. Quite an easy one, right? I told you at the starting of the video, just give me a minimal concentration, watch the video, you will get to know the process. But see, this process also has some kind of variations. We will talk about those variations later. We will take an example for a particular variation and then talk about the variation. But I understand that you have got this. How this simple method? How did we get 105 into 107? See, we would apply this same formula on the other variations also. But there are some things in those sums which you need to keep in mind. So let's start with the following variations. Now at first we will take an example and then show what the variation is. Now let's take 112 into 113. Now see, in this case also the base is very close to be 100, or both the numbers are close to 100. Thus we can take the base to be 100. Now we are taking the base to be 100. And as per the previous sum, we would also take the surpluses. The surpluses are 12 and 13 respectively for 112 and 113. Now let's write 112 slash its surplus multiplied by 113 slash its corresponding surplus. Now again we would write on the left hand side 112 plus its opposite surplus, or 113 plus its opposite surplus, slash the product of the two surpluses, which stands out to be 156. Now here is a simple thing that we have to keep in mind, or you can say it's a formula you have to keep in mind. The number of digits of the number of zeros we have in the base should be equal to the number of digits on the right hand side of the slash. See, on the right hand side of the slash we here do have 156, but 100, or the base that we have taken to be 100, just has two zeros. Thus we have to remove a number from the right hand side. Now another formula we have to keep in mind is 1 on the left hand side, when carried over to the right hand side, does have a value of 100, and when 100 on the right hand side carried over to the left hand side does have a value of 1. Now see, we can write now let's take a look at the left hand side. The left hand side is 112 plus 13, which stands out to be 125, and the right hand side is 156. Now the 156, see, on the right hand side we have to have two digits because 100 has two zeros. Now 156 or 156 can be written as 100 plus 56, and when this 100 would be carried over to the left hand side, it would leave just 56 on the right hand side, and when the 100 would be carried over to the left hand side, it would have a value of 1, as the formula I just explained. So what we would write? We would write 125 slash 156, or it would be equal to 12656. Now why is it 12656? See, 156 is written as 100 plus 56, and the 100 is carried over to the left hand side, which increases the value of 125 by 1, because the value of 100 on the right hand side when carried forward to the left hand side has a value of 1, and vice versa. Now this was one variation. It's a bit hectic, I know. Just if you find any difficulty, just pause the video, rewind it, and again watch it. When you are clear, just go forward. Now let's take another case. What would be 96 into 108? See, this is another variation. Both the numbers here are close to 100. Thus, as you all know, we would take the base to be 100. Now you can yourself find out what is the deficiency in this case in one number and what is the surplus in this case. See, for 108 it has a surplus of 8, and for 96 it is a deficit of minus 4, because the base is 100 and 96 is minus 4 short of 100, or 4 short of 100. So while we are writing it in a tabular form, 96 slash its surplus or deficiency multiplied by 108 slash its surplus. So again, when we would write it in this process, on the left hand side we can write 108 plus the opposite surplus, or 96 plus the opposite surplus, slash the product of those two numbers, which stands out to be minus 32. Again, the base is 100, it has two zeros. On the right hand side we can have only two numbers, and on the right hand side in this case we do have two numbers. But what is the catch? The catch is that on the right hand side we have a negative number, and we can't have a negative number on the right hand side. Thus, as I said, when 1 is transferred from the left hand side to the right hand side is the value of 100, and when 100 is transferred oppositely when 100 is transferred from the right hand side to the left hand side, its value becomes 1. Now as we have minus 32, we have to carry over 1 from the left hand side to the right hand side, which would have a value of 100. Thus here we can write what is on the left hand side. 108 minus 4 stands out to be 104. Thus here we can write it to be 104 slash minus 32, which can be equal to 103 slash 100 minus 32. See, I carried over 1 from the left hand side, which becomes 100 on the right hand side. So we can write 103 slash 68, or the total answer could be 10368. Now let's look at another example, or you can say the last case scenario possible. What is 209 into 211? See, as I just said previously, that the bases would be 100, 10, 1000 and their multiples. See, we can have here a base to be 200, as both the numbers are close to 200, but we can't have a base of 205, as the numbers are closer to 205 than it is to 200, but we can't have 205 as a base, because 205 is not a multiple of 10. Any base that we take should be in the multiple of 10, or the multiple of 100. 100 is also multiple of. Just remember that any base that we take should be a multiple of 10. But so what can the base can we take here? Both the numbers are closest base with a multiple of 10 is 200. Thus, we can take the base here to be 200. The surpluses would be 9 and 11 respectively. As per the previous sums, we would write it in a tabular form, 209 plus its surplus into 211 slash its surplus. Again, when we multiply it on the left hand side, we can write 209 plus its opposite surplus or 211 plus its opposite surplus slash 99. See, 100 multiplied by 2 is equals to 200, and 100 has two zeros. On the right hand side we have two digit number, so it satisfies the previous formula that I spoke about. Now 200 is 2 times that of 100. So what is the catch here? When we have taken the base to be 200, we have to do nothing. Whatever times it is of 100, we have to multiply the left hand side with that number. So we will write, or we will multiply the left hand side with 2, as 100 multiplied by 2 results to 200. So the left hand side stands out to be 220. So we will write 2 into 220 slash 99 is equals to 440 slash 99, or the answer would be 44099. So these three steps, these three variations, and the first main process that I showed stand out to be how can we multiply number faster with the help of bases. Quite easy, right? I just told you before that just give me a minimal concentration, watch the video to the end, and you will be a master in this calculation process. So let's just repeat the points once again. It will help you remember what I just said throughout the video. So the bases that can be used should be 10, 100, 1000, or as I just said, it should be of a multiple of 10. The number of zeros of the base should be equal to the number of digits on the right hand side, as I just showed you on the second variation. The numbers can be only used if both the numbers are close to the base. And how much you practice makes a man perfect, man. So just practice and you will be a master in this process. And by practice, I just remember, let me give you some multiplications. Solve it. Just solve it as fast as you can. Write it down in the comment below what the answers are, and also don't forget to mention how much time did you take to perform this multiplication. Then you can see more the number of comments, you can just compare yourself where you stand as per the whole of the India. So that's it, guys. I hope you liked my video. If you did like my video, hit the like button. Don't forget to comment if you have any queries, and please subscribe to our channel. Presenting Kiki Gyan shows on YouTube. Learn something educational, see something new. Thank you.